Welcome everybody to this next lovely talk at the Pain Free Podcast, A Positive Future for Health. And I'm delighted to introduce you all to Jessica Mollock, who is going to be talking about shamanism. And first of all, I'd really love, Jessica, can you just say a little bit about yourself? How did you get into all of this? Why are you doing shamanism? What's the journey for you?
Okay. Hello, everyone, and hello, Althea. Thank you. How did I get into shamanism? It happened in 2009. I bent over to pick up a book and a disc bulged in my back, which led to me pretty much a year of not being able to do anything. And it led to me being in bed in acute pain on morphine. And I got to the point where I was self-medicating. The doctors just said, have as much as you want. So I kind of got into a hole and I didn't know how to get out. And one day I woke up and I looked out the window and I had 3 children and I couldn't take them to school. And I looked out the window and there was a tree outside my window and it had an apple on it and some leaves. It was like the autumn, and a bird landed on the tree and the sunlight came out and it was so beautiful. And I thought, in that moment of beauty, I thought, I want more. I want my life back. And that led me to phoning for an ambulance, because at that point I couldn't go to the loo. But when you phone about a disc, people kind of don't always want to come. So when I said I had to phone myself, I had to phone 999 and they rushed me to hospital and it became an emergency. And I had an operation which worked straight away. All the pain had gone. And then I went to see my doctor and we talked about why this could have happened. And he talked about stress. And I was like, well, I don't feel that stressed. And he said, well, long-term stress. And he said a lot of different things, but one thing really jumped out at me. And he said abandonment. And that sort of resonated with me because my mother had left when I was 11 or 12. And I didn't realize, I thought I'd processed. I thought I was okay, and I was in a way. But that then led me on a journey to go to talking therapy, where I talked about it, but I got bored of talking about it, and I'd already been making art all about it unconsciously. And I was like, I can't keep talking about this story. And then
So it's natural. You were expressing the story out of yourself already.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And so then I thought I'd been diagnosed as having post-traumatic stress as well. And so I just Googled physical therapies for post-traumatic stress, and I came across this therapy called TRE, which makes your body shake and you release trauma. And after 6 weeks of doing that, the post-traumatic stress had gone. And on that course, I met a friend, Liz, who was doing shamanism, and she would come and tell me stories about Peru. And then she came and did a ceremony at my house, and it was so beautiful, and it just touched me, and it touched me like the day that I'd seen the sun on the leaf. And I thought, I want more of that, because it's very beautiful. And it took me another 2 years to go on the medicine wheel, and she kept saying, come, come, come. And then anyway, I went. So the beauty called me, and I thought I was kind of done with my personal work. I thought I'd done a lot. And when I arrived on the medicine wheel, it went to another level that I hadn't touched. And when I arrived, I didn't know what a chakra was. I didn't really know. I was like, why are they all talking about energy? I don't know what they're talking about. So I was quite skeptical. I was a skeptic in the first year. And I was also undoing a lot of stuff. So I felt quite ungrounded, because all of the things that had kept me safe all those years, the ways of being, were getting undone. So it kind of ungrounded me a bit. But I also started experiencing the beauty. And on the medicine wheel, we have ceremonies. And I think it was the first ceremony we had. And it touched me. It was so beautiful. And the way the people give you receive these energetic rights from people, but it's in complete presence and love. And I'd never felt that kind of love without condition before. And it just made me cry, actually. And I also felt incredibly safe and seen. So that's what led me to shamanism. And
It's interesting because you talked about how you sort of unlocking, unlearning your patterns and things. And I see that in a lot of people that we have these patterns of behavior, and sometimes we don't even know we're doing it.
yeah,
Um, but your calling kept you, it kept calling that love of that first moment on the bird on the tree, and
yeah,
something kept calling you through. I love that. That's that spiritual kind of inner knowing, inner guidance, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
So then you did that, and then how did you get that to? Was that in the same thing as shamanism? That is shamanism. That's part of it, is it?
Yeah. So people often say, what is shamanism? And I've been listening to different people talk about it because I think we all interpret it differently. And I think for me, the main part of the teaching is about self-referencing and introspection and looking inside myself. And then when I do that, then I can see the world differently. And I can also experience that I'm connected to everyone else and everything else.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's saying the same thing, aren't they? And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
it's me.
yeah, it's amazing. But I feel like with we become self-referencing, which becomes self-empowering. So
Love it.
yeah,
Sounds really empowering, beautiful.
yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about what is shamanism? I mean, where does it come from? How do you do it?
Okay. Well, it comes from. I think there is shaman all over the world, indigenous people who live on the land and the earth, and they maybe speak to the trees and the mountains and the rivers. And so there's many traditions of shamanism. And the one I've been taught is from Peru, from the Quero shaman. And they, when the Spanish invaded Peru, they took their medicine up into the mountains and kept it safe. So and they became farmers and weavers. And the medicine that they hold is an energy medicine, and they're transmissions. It's also a way of life. So I feel like shamanism for me is a way of life. Um,
Are these the same shaman that held the Monaiki rites?
yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We do have another talk on Monaiki rights, but but coming back to, so what I understand about it is that, so the Spanish invaders came, they went up the mountains to keep the knowledge of the world safe,
Mhm.
and then they were called to come down again
That's right.
to to teach us what we need to know.
Mm.
And I really, really feel day by day by day that we're all talking the same language. We're
Mm.
connected to everything. It's
Yeah.
about going within, listening to
Yeah.
your soul, listening to your own, to come back to yourself. And I feel really it's all connected.
I know. It's completely all
Amazing.
connected. And
Completely all connected.
there is a prophecy that the medicine that they brought down from the mountains when it was ready to share, the
Oh wow.
prophecy is that it will go to the West and the Westerners will grow it and then we'll take it back to Peru. So I quite like that idea because it's like what we say like with the moon Nike, it's a love virus. So it's spreading love around the world.
Sounds like a good thing. And
Yeah.
in my work in the pain-free method, it's all about connecting to the love of you and
Mm.
loving yourself. That's the essence of it.
Yeah.
And of course, we're connected to everything. So if you're connecting to you, you're
Mm.
also triggering that in everybody around you. You give it off.
Mm. Yeah.
So what would people, how would people find a shaman? Well, I mean, there's you, obviously.
Yeah.
Are you a shaman or are you a teacher or
I'm both.
oh
Well, so
wow.
what I do is I assist my teacher, Chris Waters, who's that spirit of the Inca. So she runs the medicine wheel, which is a year-long training, and it's 6 days, 6 days altogether, 4 times a year. And in that, you will learn the first 3 days, you do your personal healing. So you learn ways to look inside yourself, and you get given or you get taught lots of tools to release the energy or the feelings we use fire ceremony a lot. And then the second 3 days, you can learn to be a practitioner of energy medicine. So you can learn how to be a shamanic energy healer.
And is it what in those first 6 days? I mean, is it the shaman talks to you, or you do what? How do you connect to your story and you? And what
Okay, so
happens?
there are 4 directions. So the first direction is the south, and that we say it's the serpent, and it's like the place. So we look through perceptual states. So we look through the eyes of non-suffering, non-judgment. Everything is exactly as it appears. And that's a whole teaching. And in that first module, we'll be learning how to let go of our personal stories from our lifetime. And then we all go to the west, which is
Sounds
Jaguar.
so amazing.
Yeah. And we look through the eyes of Jaguar, and everything is not as it appears. And this is where we start wrapping stories around our feelings. So we'll often have a feeling in the body, and then we'll have a whole story. And the story might not be true. I know you know. And so we play and we work with that. And we also in the West, we also look at our ancestors. So there's processes to speak to our ancestors who have passed and to hear their stories, actually. And because often they have a story of suffering, but they also have a gift to bring to us, because maybe they couldn't do what they really longed for in their life, but their gift is their longing, and they can give it to you. And
Because of course you're connected, aren't you? You're connected to those ancestors, so you might be carrying some of your ancestors' issues.
yes,
So does that release that from you,
yes,
or
yeah,
it does?
yeah, yeah.
And Jessica's going to take us through a little guided process in a moment as well, so you can feel what
Yeah,
Jessica's talking about.
yeah.
Um, but that's extraordinary, isn't it? So since we're all connected, so you take us in this process of is it called a shaman? That's called the shaman wheel or
Oh, the medicine wheel.
medicine wheel. Is this
Yeah,
the medicine wheel you
yes,
take you're talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. So there's
Mm.
those 2 directions, and we say these are where the Western world is. So like the news and talking therapy maybe, and that's where we tend to work. Western medicine works. So it's like going to the hospital, having an operation. So that's at the literal, at the physical. We have our arm fixed, and then maybe we go and talk about our issues. But so then we go to the next direction, which is the north, which is hummingbird. And this is where we let go of all of our story, we let go of those stories, and we start to dream our world into being. So it's like if we can let go of those stories and those feelings in our body, what could we call in that's more life compelling and more beautiful? And that's the sort of place where people start getting creative. And maybe people, like when I started, I'd never painted, and it was when I did that part of the wheel I started painting.
Oh
So
wow.
often people start getting creative, not
Wow.
in many different ways, and then we go to the east, which we look through the eyes of eagle. And eagle has got is the place of no words and transcendence, and this is where we work shamanically. So it's the place of pure energy, and a way of seeing through those eyes is to imagine you're an eagle flying high up in the sky, and you can see the big picture and the tiny detail. And so that's the place where we work when we're doing energy healing, and we make a shift. So we work a place called infinity, and that's where the healing happens. And then that shift goes downstream to the way we can live our life that's more beautiful, to a new story we tell ourselves, to a new feeling in our body. That's very loosely.
Beautiful. It sounds beautiful. And
Yeah.
so this process takes a whole year then.
Yeah. And
So
what
it's 6 days, 4 times a year, and a whole year to sort of process it all, I suppose.
and what I think why I like it is because you do a year, and because people go quite deep, and you do a lot of sacred drama. We crawl around on the floor, we make fires, do lots of funny things that are also quite playful. So it brings out your child in you.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's like you're back to 5-year-old again and
Yeah, yeah,
sort of
we
playing
do.
around,
Yeah,
make
yeah,
believe and
yeah, exactly.
beautiful.
But so what happens is you become really good friends with people like really quickly. And like, I sometimes feel like I have deeper friendships with the people on the wheel than I do with some people I've known for a long time because we've gone to these places together.
Yeah.
So it's a safe place. And you really quickly realize we're all one. And,
Okay.
one of the teachings is like to let go of judgment. So you start noticing all the places you judge others and you maybe judge yourself. But that for me, that's quite a big teaching. And it can change your life a lot when you realize what you're
I, I
doing.
I guess
Obviously,
that's
going, sorry, let me
sorry.
jump in here. I was getting
Yeah.
lost in what you're saying. It was so lovely, Jessica. Obviously, with what you've been through with your past, when you started, how long did it kind of take for the effects to kind of kick in for you to feel that kind of release, to feel that kind of energy? Like, how long would you say from the start it took?
I'd
You know,
say it's taken a few years.
a few years.
But it's increments because like maybe the first year something shifted and I can open my heart a little bit.
Hmm.
And then the next year a bit more because it's about feeling safe as well. So what my experience of it has been opening my heart, but also finding my boundaries and my no and my yes. That's not because I had a lot of yes that's a people pleasing yes. So I would just say yes to make everyone happy, but it didn't make me happy. So like learning my boundaries has been quite a big thing for me because how I grew up, I had no boundaries. I was free,
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like it's increments and steps. Because I guess if you had it all at one go, you might not be able. I don't know. For me, I maybe I couldn't have accepted it all in one go.
Mm.
So,
It's a process, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
It's whatever you do to help yourself. There are so many beautiful things out there, but it's
yeah,
still, even with all the right toolbox, it's still a process. You can't just heal.
yeah,
It's you can certainly get benefits all the way along of whatever you do to help yourself, I think.
yeah.
But it's still a process, isn't it? It's taken you a few years to get
Fine.
to where you wanted to be.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just thinking now, like in the north, in Hummingbird, we do a process called soul retrieval. And the idea of that is that you will take someone back to the wound, to the original wound. So they might have a story here in their life, and then way back there's the wound that keeps happening through their life. And when you let go of that, then we find the soul part that's a part of you, your nature, and it's never been touched by any wounding. So you bring it back, and it's like when you call that back, um, sometimes it can be difficult to own because it's so beautiful and graceful. But it's like that's another journey of stepping into who you really are and who you
Definitely.
are without all of the conditioning that we've had, the families that we've lived in, our ancestor stories. There's so much to undo. And there's a story that I got told when I first started, which was about a shaman going into a mental hospital
Yeah.
and they started owning all of the behaviors that they could see. So they found a way like I could be like that, or I could imagine I could be like that. And they owned it in themselves. So that's feel it in their body and what it would feel like. And then they let go of it, different processes by being with it or doing fires. And after 3 months, the staff in the hospital started saying, "What the patients seem to be getting better." And so that's always stayed with me because I feel like, like when you're doing this work, you're not necessarily you'll start off doing your own personal work and your own journey. But
Yeah.
like you said, Althea, it impacts other people. So like if I let go of something, then other people can let go of it just like that.
I agree. I agree. And I remember when I started off with hands-on treatments and shiatsu and reflexology, hands-on body work.
Mm.
And when I started, I could feel their tensions and pains go into my body. The transference of I thought it was something to do with my empathy for people or
Mm.
something. I could feel it. But is it something similar? Is it like you're connecting to their story? And somehow that relieves them? Or how does it, is that something similar?
I feel like it's like an energetic thing. And it's like, so say I let go of my anger, then maybe no one else needs to show me their anger. But maybe they still have it and they might need to go and do their work around it, but maybe they'll see that they need to do something about it.
Okay.
But
So
like in a situation, say someone's angry and I let go of my anger and I don't respond to it, then it gives them the opportunity to let go. Does that make sense?
it's almost like energetically being the letting go. And because we're all connected and we feel each other, we empathize and we sense each other. I guess it's like, if I was in a room with, when I've been in front of somebody who is very sound and steady, when I've been all up there and arguing and up there, but someone's very sound and steady and relaxed, it relaxes me. I feel the same. It's something like that then.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So it's like we become the still place in the storm, and it's like with children, they know that your heartbeat resonates into the primary carer. And it's like we do the same unconsciously. We still in to, if we want to, we can sometimes go, no, I'm not going to, but unconsciously we'll still into the stillest person in the room. So if there is something going on, I don't know, I can't think, an earthquake, if someone's not getting all in the drama and just holding stillness, you can make different decisions and you can behave differently. And then other people might feel that and go, oh, okay, I can be calmer around this.
Kind of like connect to the people in the room kind of thing, and you feel the kind of energy and you just match that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good thing to remember.
And Suzanne says co-regulation.
Yes. Co-regulation.
I feel that too, Suzanne.
Yeah.
And so what sort of so this is like this would be a whole year of going through your journey through the wheel, and it's a safe space. It's always the same people, is it? Is it always in a group? Is it never individual? Is it always in a group?
On the medicine wheel, it's whoever you start with, it stays the same all the way through, and it's the same teaching team. So
But how would you what if you can't stand somebody? Is it
that's your work.
ah
So I
come
think
on.
I know. So I think this is the thing
Mm.
I really like. I mean, it's all you. If you spot it, you've got it. And it's like it's hard sometimes.
It's hard, isn't it? Yeah, because I in my work it's the same. It's like so many people say they're so upset with what's going on in the world, and I say, but how's it making you feel?
Yeah.
What's that doing to you? And oh, this person and that person, they're driving me crazy. Yeah, so where's the crazy in you? Is it?
Exactly.
It's exactly same. Say exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got a
Right.
question from Emma. Can you share how spending time in Peru has deepened your shamanic practice?
Okay. Well, I just went this year, so I've been doing it for 8 years. And I was sort of thinking, oh, I don't need to go. And I don't think I have to go because I feel like I've learned the teachings that my teacher, Chris Waters, has brought. And teachers are very strong and thorough. But when I went to Peru, what I learned was mostly just by being by the shaman is I felt their stillness. They're like mountains. They're like laughing mountains because they laugh a lot. They mess around. They're really playful. And I really learned from them about connecting and speaking to the mountains and the rivers because that's how they get a lot of their wisdom. Like
I love that.
they get to know the mountains. They've grown up on the mountains. It's a being to them, and they listen to them, and so they get information. And yeah, so that's what I learned from them. And I'd already learned it on the medicine where we do something called nature connection, which is a similar thing where we every day we have a sit spot and we sit with nature and we're like, how's nature speaking to us? So we learn how to communicate with all of the
I
elements
love
and
it
all of the
because
beings.
it's all there for you, isn't it? There's the land and the sea and the air. It's all we're connected with all things.
Yeah.
And are they the same? Is it the same? Is it the same kind of thing as the North American Indians? So they speak to the land and the people and they follow
Yeah.
paths and listen to the wind and all the rest of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think there's all similarities. I haven't done any of the others, so I don't know. What I know about the Kero shaman when I've met them is I like their playfulness. And I
Mm.
feel like what my teachers told me is that they've let go of the wounds of the Spanish invading. But they just feel quite light-hearted and quite playful, and I like that about them. And they wear really bright colors.
Oh, lovely. So it just makes you feel good even looking at them.
Yeah.
And then you get that sense and that feeling. There's
Yeah.
a story I heard. I think one of the first things I heard about these people that came down from the mountain. These people, and there's a guy called Ian R. Crane, and I was watching his. Do you know? Have you heard of this
No, I
guy?
haven't heard of them.
He was called to Peru to go and see the shaman, and he'd heard they were coming down. He wanted to go and meet them, and when he went there, it was a big expedition, and somebody had arranged all the arrangements of going there, and the group was going to meet them. It's all going to be all paid a lot of money to go, and it was all organized. It's all a thing. So he went there, and on the morning that they were going to meet the shaman, Ian R. Crane broke his leg and he just stumbled and there it was. He was in the middle of Peru, lots of hills, and he broke his leg. He was so upset and he said, well, there's no way he can go up the mountain. So he sat there and over the day or whatever time it was, day I guess, um they came to him, and the first one came and the second one came, and then they ended up with the whole group around him back at the camp. And he was saying, "Oh, I feel really bad because this guy's organized everything. They've all paid loads of money. They're going to be really annoyed about this and upset." And he said, "No, we've come here to see you. We're supposed to be here."
Ah,
And there's a whole load of story beyond that, but that's the kind of thing, isn't it? It's really following your instincts and being in the moment, letting go of the games and the drama.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes,
how is this?
you
Sorry.
experience synchronicity. So things
Mm.
call you. And like a long time ago, before I did any shamanism, I'd gone to a gong bath and I'd read about it in the standard London newspaper. I thought, oh, it must be okay to go, safe, because it's before I'd done anything alternative. And I went to the gong bath, and in that I had a vision of mountains, and the mountains were singing. And I just was kind of like, whoa, that's a bit strange. And then when I went on the medicine wheel, they showed a film of Peru, and I was like, oh, that's the mountains. So I kind of feel like I was called to it.
Wow. Beautiful. Perfect. It's
But
perfect synchronicity.
yeah, so
So how has it changed you doing all of this? How long have you been in it now then?
I've been doing this for 8 years. I've been like I did 2 years of trade with Chris, and then I became a team member. So I've been doing it for 8 years. And how has it changed me? I
Yeah.
suppose at the literal in my body, I feel very agile, and that's without doing any exercises. And I can get up and down off the floor. I'm 61. I just feel very alive.
Oh, that's it. I'm coming.
That's one right. And then um the Jaguar, it's like I I've I still obviously have stories in my head, but I notice them maybe quicker, and I know I can attend to it, and I have lots of tools so I can let go of it because I know most of it's not true. And I suppose what it's done is it's made me I just feel like I live in a lot of joy, and
Fabulous.
I just
Love
have a
that.
nice lot. I just have a lovely time. And it's, yeah,
Beautiful.
but it's taken work to do that. And, I have complete reconciliation with my mum because we kind of had I hadn't realized because of what had happened, I'd kind of, put up some boundaries, and now we get on really well and we have a lovely time
Wow.
together.
Beautiful. But
Yeah.
that's what happens, isn't it? When you heal yourself, when you're in a good space,
Yeah.
you give it off. And I find that it can be very daunting, I think, that if you don't get on and you've bust up relationships in your life, or you've got taboos, or you've got issues that you know you've got and you can't get over them,
Yeah,
that when you find peace with all that little lot, and it's easy, it's okay, it's comfortable, it's good feelings.
yeah,
I think when you're in that horrible place, it can feel like the moment before the dam breaks.
yeah,
But when you do go do these journeys, it's a letting go feeling. It's a good feeling. Like you say, you feel peace and you feel good.
yeah. I just feel like all of my aches and pains have gone really, like because I had back issues, and yeah, I feel like I'm just a lot more agile and fitter, and I feel young. I feel younger than I did when I
Come
was
on.
25.
Spring chicken,
I've
darling.
let go of all of this baggage, emotional baggage. Like I
Beautiful.
had a lot. Well, I mean, maybe we all do, but I definitely had quite a lot, and a lot from my ancestors.
You're right. I think we all do. We've
Yeah,
all
I think
got
we all
stuff.
do.
We
And,
aches and
and
pains and problems and issues. We all
yeah,
do. And
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful.
yeah.
And you're a beacon of light and all your sparkly pink, and you have that rare, lovely glow about you.
Thank you.
And yeah, beautiful. And what sort of people have come to you? What sort of people? What kind of? And you talk about aches and pains in you, but what people are drawn to? What are they drawing to you for?
Well, I think all sorts of people come to me. That you can come with anything. I think obviously people somehow I have a lot of people with similar issues because somehow they're just drawn to you. And they don't know, but and maybe I don't know for a bit, and then I find out I'm like, oh, we've got the same thing. So
The same issues as you.
similar, yeah. Not
Ah,
always,
interesting.
but what we
Mm.
kind of say is that you can't take anyone anywhere you've gone haven't gone yourself. So if you think it's like an expedition inside your body, like the deeper I go in my body, the deeper I can take someone else. Because maybe if someone came to me, actually, someone did come to me 5 years ago when I was still just learning, and they had quite severe mental health issues. And I found it difficult because I didn't feel safe myself, if that makes sense. And then someone came to me recently with similar issues, and it was like I could do it. Because I feel I can hold this now. It's okay because I've
Yeah,
done all my
spirit.
work.
You're in a different place, and spirit's brought you back to that same energy to help.
Yeah,
Looks like.
yeah,
So it can be all sorts of conditions. And so is it based on they need help with something? Do they get in contact with you and say, I've got this issue or that issue? And so it can be anything, physical, emotional, traumas,
yeah,
mental issues,
yeah, yeah.
family issues.
Issues. Anything that's getting in the way of you having a lovely life. Anything. And so sometimes some people say that coming to a shaman is often the last port of call. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. But it
No.
seems like quite a magical process when you do energy healing. You can just shift something in the energy stream, and it just shifts, and it makes a whole shift down through your spirit, your soul's journey, your emotional body into your physical, and something just changes, and you're like, oh, what's happened? Something's
Wow.
changed. So it can be
Beautiful.
very graceful.
Beautiful. And shall we experience it now then? It's
Yeah.
we've got no, we're nearly at 22, so I want to give time for people's questions at the end as well.
Okay.
Are you ready to take us all through that experience? I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Okay. So we're going to do a journey to the underworld, which is a beautiful place to go. And we've got a little technical issue because I've got a rattle, but we think we can't hear it. So you'll just have to know I can hear it, and it's keeping me in rhythm for this. And you might see me shaking it. And I use a rattle because it helps one come out of your thinking mind. So you come more into your body and can take you into other places. So it's a really good idea to sit up, take your shoes and socks off, and even stand up if you want to. And if you don't want anyone to see you, you could turn your video off if I don't know if it's on or not. So I think personally standing up is really good because for me, shamanism is all about embodiment. So it's about feeling your body and getting into it. Okay. And I would say shut your eyes and I will take you on a journey.
Let's do this.
Okay. So just start by taking some breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And imagine your out breath as a stream running down your body all the way into the earth, into Pachamama. And we are going to take a journey into your imagination, into your unconscious, making it conscious. So imagine that you are standing in a great big field and you can feel your feet on the earth. You can feel the grass gently brushing against your feet as you walk across the field. And in the distance, you might see some mountains, clouds and a blue sky. And across the other side of the field, you notice a tree, a big old oak tree. Walk across that oak tree. And if you need to use your body and move your feet, let your feet walk. Imagine that you're walking across this field, across the grass, across the earth, towards this oak tree. And as you get to this oak tree, you put your hands, you feel its bark. And as you look at this tree, you see there's a great big hole. And you can see the roots of the tree. And you climb in. And you send your luminous energy body down through the roots of the tree, down through the bedrock, through the earth. And down you go deeper and deeper into the belly of the mother, down through the crystal caves, and down. And you arrive at a stream, an underground stream. Step into the stream and let this stream wash you of all that you no longer need. Using your hands, your imagination, imagine washing yourself. And then you lie down in the stream and you let it take you down into the belly of the mother. Down you go. And you feel the water holding you and supporting you as it takes you further down. And then you arrive at a shore and you climb out of the stream, step out. And you find yourself in a beautiful garden. Look around you. Look at the trees and the plants that are growing, the flowers. In the distance, the tall mountains and the rivers and waterfalls. This is a place of great beauty. This is a place that you can come to and resource yourself, renew yourself. Walk around. Notice what you notice. And then you see a great big stone with a seat carved into it. So go and sit on that stone and feel your body relax as this stone holds you and your feet on the earth. And you look around in wonderment at this beauty all around you. And knowing that this is a place you can come to any time. So resource yourself with this beauty and this wonderment and this great stillness. And now it's time to leave this underworld, your underworld. So stand up and say thank you. Gratitude to the stone for letting me sit and rest a while. Gratitude for all the beauty I find down here. The trees and the flowers and all the plants and the mountains. And then you start walking towards the stream. And as you get to the stream, an animal appears. Notice what you notice. How does this animal speak to you? Maybe it's an image, maybe it's a felt sense, a feeling, a sensing. So reach out and take this animal, this energy being, take it in your hands, in both your hands, reach out. Come with me, and bring it into your heart chakra. And now step into the stream. And let the stream take you back up, 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 out of the belly of the mother and up to the surface of the earth, up, up, up. And you get to a place where you step out of the stream and you say thank you to the stream for letting you travel down and up with you. And now you climb up through the roots of the trees, past the crystal caves, up through the bedrock, up through the roots of the trees, up through the earth. You feel the earth on your fingers and your hands as you climb up and up through the hole in the tree, that big oak tree. And you come back onto the earth and you step back into your physical body. And you feel yourself walking across the fields, the grass under your feet, the sun shining, the birds singing, and the sound of the trees, and the gentle breeze. And now patting your body. So bringing yourself back into this moment, into the present moment. So pat your body all over, your face, your head, top of your head, your heart, your neck, chest, your belly, your legs. Stamp your feet. Open your eyes. And then finding a piece of paper and a pen. So when you have a piece of paper and a pen, or if you're going to write notes in your phone, you could do that. So just really quickly, just in a few sentences, just write down, what did you see in that garden and what was the animal that you experienced and maybe how did you experience it? So just write down some notes, because sometimes when you start writing, more things come to you as well. So when you've done that, on that piece of paper with your dominant hand, you could write the question, what can you teach me? What's your instinct? So choose which one you want to write. So with your dominant hand, write down, what can you teach me? Or you could write, what's your instinct? And then what I want you to do now is embody your animal. So imagine that you are your animal. So I have a horse with a swishy tail and a long mane. And it's like you want to feel your animal in your body, like to all of the edges of your body. So become the animal. Turn off your cameras if you don't want anyone to see you. But imagine that you're this animal. Call it in. This animal that you brought into your heart. Okay. And when you can feel your animal, the animal of you, whatever you are. A bird. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a horse. I've got a long mane, whatever it is. With your non-dominant hand, answer the question. So what's the instinct this animal can teach you? Or what can you teach me? So maybe mine's a horse. So it's like, horse, what can you teach me? What new way of being? What instinct? And then write with your other hand. So write with the hand that you don't write with. Yeah. And just let an answer come. You might be surprised. It might not be what you imagine.
Wow, I'm really interested to see what animals everyone got.
Oh,
Mine was so absurd. I wasn't even expecting to see the animal I saw.
good. So there is another question that can be helpful as well. So with your dominant hand, write down, how can I get to know you? And then again, like call in your animal and like give yourself permission to become this animal. So really be your animal. Feel it come in. You can call it in. And you can imagine it's like acting. It's like you're stepping into this role, this animal. And then with your non-dominant hand, answer that question. So what can you teach me? No, what was it? How can I get to know you? How can I get to know you? And then write with your non-dominant hand, what do I need to do to get to know you? And see what it says. And like, no, if we were on, if we were sitting all together and we had longer, I'd get everyone to share and we could, because sometimes when you share, it helps as well. But what I would suggest you do is for a month, this is your power animal, get to know your power animal, like, and embody it every day, draw it, write a story about it, write a song about it, paint it, sew it, make a film about it, anything creative. Or maybe you just have a picture of your animal on the wall, and that animal will teach you a new way of being.
Lovely.
And it's a physical way of being. It's not a head thing. And
Lovely, and, and,
notice,
and spend a whole month, and if you've done that after a whole month, get in contact with Jessica and share. Would
yeah,
that
yeah,
be?
do.
I'm going ahead of myself. Is that okay?
I do say
Oh,
that. I do say that because it's really nice to know, because with this shamanism, we're working with embodiments. And
Yeah.
like a lot of it's like, yes, we can think all of this stuff, but when we embody things, so like I have a white horse, a white pony that has a long mane, but it feels the breeze, it feels the wind. And when it feels the wind on its mane, it knows exactly which direction to go.
Oh wow.
So it's taught me clarity.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been working with the last month, but it's been really useful
Wow.
because it's like now I'm trusting my instinct because the wind tells me I know which way to go.
Wow. Really quickly, Alfia, which animal did you see?
Well, I had some kind of tiger lion thing, but one minute it was baring teeth and like that, and then the next minute it was a baby cub,
Oh,
Oh,
sweet and fluffy and cute little ears.
oh,
And I asked well I don't want to sort of get into sharing because it's we don't have
yeah,
time for that, but
yeah.
yeah, that's what I saw.
yeah,
But it's interesting. So you stay with your animal, and it grows you. You learn about stuff about yourself,
yeah,
and it gives you direction for yourself,
yeah,
for you.
yeah. It's you
Amazing,
integrate it.
beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, and it gives you a new way of being.
I'm going to do it and see how it goes. And so it's okay for people to contact you and say what happened and
Yes.
what it was
Yeah,
all about.
yeah.
So Jessica, we're coming up to the top of the hour now. So
Okay.
Jessica, um, so this is a whole year of becoming. Is that becoming a shaman, or that's going on your medicine wheel for
Yeah.
your own benefit for a
Yes.
whole year?
Yeah.
So is this something that you offer then? Do you take people through it? You're
Yes,
the
I
leader
do.
leader of it.
Yeah. So I do. I work with Chris Waters, Spirit of the Inca, and then I also through her with one of my colleagues, I run a mini medicine wheel, and that's 3 days, 4 times a year. So you don't do any of the energy healing. You just do your inner personal work. But you learn, yeah, and you learn quite a lot too. You learn to be a firekeeper. So you learn how to make fire and other processes. And then I also offer energy healing, which how do I explain it? It's like we were saying earlier on, it's like anything that's getting in the way of your life. And you're like, I don't know how to change this. I've get in touch.
And how do you, is it's through shamanism that you do the energy healing, is it? Or that's
Yes,
something,
it's a shamanic energy healing. And I can do it online. It works really well online. I do it in
oh,
person because it's energy. And
yeah,
what I'm doing, so my job as a practitioner is to hold stillness. So we believe that the client has the wisdom. They know exactly what they need. I don't know what you need, but you know. And it's this attunement thing. Like if I can hold stillness and space, then you can really go to that place and let go of something and call in something new. Um, and we go to infinity, and then that's the place where the transcendence happens and we let go, and that's where the healing happens. And then yeah,
beautiful.
like I said, you can let go of these things and you're just like, oh, it's gone. Sometimes I say to people maybe a month later, how was that thing? And they're like, what thing? Like you
Love it.
I know it in myself, I can't remember. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that thing that's getting in my way.
that's right. And that could be a physical condition, that could be an emotional trauma
Yeah,
or mental thing or anything.
yeah.
And so it's the year long and then 3 days over the year. And but so then you do the healing energy work. That could be like in just online or in person or in like an hour or something,
Yeah,
or that's.
I always
Mm.
say leave. Well, it probably takes about an hour and a half. It depends. Sometimes it's an hour, but I usually leave an hour and a half.
And is it something like we just did? Is that same sort of thing? You take us on a journey, take someone on a journey kind of thing.
Well, you kind of take them on a journey. It's a bit different. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so we use stones. So we tell our stories to the stones because they are the oldest beings. And the stones know all of the stories that we have. And there are only maybe a few stories really, but we can wrap a lot of other story around. But yeah, the idea is the stones are the oldest beings and they've heard everything. So it's safe to tell them. So we use our
Mm.
breath and we blow into the stone and we tell a story and I would guide you. So it's like if you're going on a journey, it's an internal journey, and I'm guiding you through up a mountain, and I maybe know the way to that place, but I don't. You will find your own healing. It won't. I'll just be guiding you, and
You
then
guide and support that space
I
and
hold.
guide the person. Amazing. And what sort of things have you seen change in people? What things have they forgotten about? What sort of conditions or states or feelings or
Trying to think. Well, there's one I can remember is someone who had problem, like a very bad physical problem that they were embarrassed about. and they couldn't tell anyone. And they were kind of stuck in this place. And I did a healing with this person. And what happened was that she was able to tell people afterwards, but that led to her really quickly having treatment because she couldn't go to it was a physical condition and she needed to go to the doctor. Until she did that healing, because she was stuck in, I can't tell anyone because I'm disgusting. So when she let go of that story, then she could tell people, and then she got help, and she got a lot of help really quickly.
Wow.
But before that,
And
she was disabled by this pain.
wow. So that's a subtlety and the beauty of healing, isn't it? That you don't have to force anything. There's nothing to force or fix.
Yeah.
It's about in shamanism then connecting to your inner journey, connecting to you. Is it?
Yeah.
Am I saying the right words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Excellent.
that's quite that's like that's one side of shamanism that I like. So it's like it made a shift so she could make a different decision. But I like it, I think for myself, like I had a lot of stuff around my voice, and teaching. And I've done a lot of work to be able to sit here now and speak because I was like, I was so shy and anxious. I couldn't look anyone
Well,
in the eye. I
well,
had
I'm
to
very
drink to go
grateful.
out. So, I'm trying to think of what things I've got at the moment. There's always something that I'm like, oh, I want this to shift now.
There's layers and layers, isn't it? We're connected to everything. We have ancestors, we have story, we have sometimes people have big stories, many stories, difficult things in their own lives here. And well, I'm very grateful to shamanism and to you that you
Oh,
went through that journey. So you're here with us talking and telling us all
yeah.
about it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. So we will bring it up to close then. And I want to just say thank you, everybody, for joined us today on the Pain Free podcast and listen to Jessica and about shamanism. Do get in touch with Jessica, and I'm going to be giving out the recording. It'll be done. You'll receive it tomorrow,
Okay.
and there'll be a link to how to get in touch with Jessica and all these different things that she offers. Do get in touch if you feel drawn and you feel that journey calling you. And it might be just an energy healing, or it might be go on the courses. Jessica, amazing. Can I leave you on the last word to just say something to everybody? Would you like to say something to everybody to send them off on their evening or their day, wherever you are in the
Oh,
world?
okay.
Would that be okay? So
Yeah.
I'll leave the last word to you, and then we'll close the
Okay.
evening.
Well, I feel like I follow a path of beauty. So I follow the path of beauty, and that's what leads my life. And I greatly look forward to hearing your stories of your journey with your power animals and where that leads you to and what new thing comes into your life.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jessica. And
Thank you.
thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye.